Washington Wizards. And wait a second as I pull up my document here. I have the Washington Wizards being, as it's loading, the 10th seed in the Eastern Conference, going 38-44 in season. The Washington Wizards. Maybe now that I think about it, if I were to go back and revise my rankings, I might put the Hornets up a bit and the Wizards maybe down a bit. But it's too late. I already made these. So yeah, I have them being the 10th seed and going 38-44. But you don't really come to this video for the predictions. You really come to this video for the me actually talking about the team. Unless you don't, then that's kind of sad. But anyways, the Wizards. Their starting line is probably going to look something like Spencer Dinwiddie, Bradley Beal, Troy Brown Jr. maybe, then probably Rui, or maybe they have Kyle Kuzma, small forward, I don't know. But Dinwiddie, Beal, Troy Brown, Rui Hachimura, and Thomas Bryant. Or maybe even Daniel Gafford. They could go with either of those guys at the center position. But the main thing I want to talk about, the main thing everybody's been talking about with this team is Bradley Beal. He's been the main guy. Actually, I haven't even said anything about the Westbrook trade. Anyways, I'm gonna start by talking about Bradley Beal. Everybody suspected that after Westbrook got traded, he was gonna get requested trade and get traded too, and that he would go to a better team so that he could compete, and the Wizards would have to restart on their rebuild. But Bradley Beal isn't going anywhere, as it seems right now. It looks like they're going to try and compete, maybe make the play-in, maybe the playoffs. They're going to try and do something like that. But Beal is staying, and him and Damian Lillard have been the two good players who have been playing great on their teams, but haven't really gotten much help over the past few, years. For Dame, a few years, ever since 2019 when they peaked. For Beal, really ever since John Wall got injured, it's been him by himself. Other than Westbrook last year, but he only helped them make it to the 8th seed, and they got swept by the Sixers. Or did they lose in 5? I can't remember. They got beaten. That's my point. So it looks like Beal's going to be one of those guys who's really loyal to their team and stays. Maybe like a Damian, a Giannis, except he's not as good as either of those two. But he's going to be that type of guy. He's not going to be the guy who joins a super team just to win a ring. But there's still a chance of him leaving, going to a different team to find success. I just want him to win something so that he doesn't end up being one of those forgotten players who didn't win a ring, so now nobody remembers who they are. I don't know if I could bring up an example, but that's mainly because I don't know who they are. A lot of the players in the past few decades have been forgotten because other than when they get put in 2K, nobody remembers them because they didn't win a ring. So, at the end of the day, winning a ring would solidify Beal's place in NBA history. And yes, I know he's almost led the league in scoring, and I'm pretty sure he might have led the league in scoring in 2020, but I don't think so. But yeah, he is a really good scorer, but I don't want to be one of those forgotten really good scorers. So Beal, please win something. I feel bad for you. Moving on, the Westbrook trade. And I'm completely forgetting about the hurt players in that trade. Pretty much the Lakers traded all of their supporting cast except for Taylor Horton Tucker to the Wizards for Russell Westbrook, and that pretty much included Montrezl Harrell. It also included who else was in that? Hold up, who else was in that deal? Kyle Kuzma, of course, the most famous guy in that deal, and I really forgot who else was in that deal. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. Those are the main 3 guys who you think about from this trade. But other than that, they didn't really get much else back for Westbrook. And they didn't really trade much for Westbrook either. They just traded John Wall, who's old and has a huge contract, and a first round pick. Or was it a second round pick? They traded a pick. So, if you really think about it, it's a decent return for an aging John Wall. So, you could say they might have won the Westbrook trade considering they wouldn't have gotten any better. But, or they, not that they wouldn't have, they didn't really have much hope with Westbrook. He wasn't making the team better. So, you could say that they won the trade. But at the end of the day, who knows? We're not going to find out until we see what Kuzma does. And if he plays better, now that LeBron and AD aren't in the way. It's really funny that in the preseason, Kuzma really hasn't been doing great. Although he said that AD and LeBron were quote-unquote holding him back. But at the end of the day, he still has time to get better in the season. The main guys you'd be looking at on this team to get better and have a breakout year are Spencer Dinwiddie and Rui Hachimura. And maybe even Denny Avdia for you Wizards fans. I'm going to start with Spencer Dinwiddie. He was injured for the past, 1 to 2 years. But he was playing really good before. And now he's back away from the Nets, because he would have been, he wouldn't have had a lot of space to actually show out on that crowded Nets team. So now he's on the Wizards team, alone in the backcourt with just Bradley Beal and Rui Hachimura, mainly those two being the only guys handling the ball a lot. So I guess that's a W. Maybe he could have another breakout year like he had before. Maybe he could be most improved player. Who knows? Hopefully, I just hope that he comes back from injury well and that he doesn't lose the rest of his career. Moving on, I'll just go quickly to Rui Hachimura. I do have hope in him. I think he can be a lot better in the future because he has a lot of potential. He's one of the few Japanese players in the NBA right now, along with Yuta Watanabe. I'm pretty sure he's Japanese too. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but yeah, I'm pretty sure those two are Japanese. Two of the few Japanese players in the NBA, so that's really nice. Hopefully he could represent for them and he could play well this season, maybe even have a breakout year, because there's a lot of guys that could have a breakout year. Even though Bradley Beal will get pretty much almost all the touches, there's still going to be a lot of room for other guys to stand out. So at the end of the day, the goal for this team I really think is a playoff appearance, and that would be good enough for them. I think this is going to be a pretty fun team to watch, considering they have Spencer Dinwiddie, Bradley Beal, Rui Hachimura. I almost said Kuzma, but Kuzma can be fun if he actually plays well. But other than that, it's not really going to be a great year. Maybe they get a decent draft pick and maybe use it to get somebody who's nice. Not great, but nice, because they're going to get chances are they're getting a late lottery pick or right outside the lottery pick. So yeah, at the end of the day, there's not really high expectations for this team, but they can still be good considering they have Bradley Beal on the team, and Bradley Beal is Bradley Beal. So if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, share, comment down below your tips, tricks, or ideas if you haven't been to this channel. That'll be for me today. I'll see you guys next time. I'm out. Peace.